Welcome, beautiful soul. It's time to remember who we are. You were born for this moment, this breath. Nature teaches us and reminds us that whatever it is that we are searching for, that whatever our hearts and souls are longing for, we must know our unlimited power and worth. It's all already within us. So thank you for saying yes to this moment. Thank you for saying yes to this journey. And most of all, thank you for saying yes to yourself. Welcome, beautiful soul. Welcome, beautiful soul. I am so grateful that you are sharing time and space with us today. This episode is both an affirmation, an encouragement, a reminder, and I also want it to be an inspiration for us. We're talking today about what you know now. Sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for it. So we're going to talk about what you know now. Before we start, as always, we are going to begin with delicious breath. And yes, that is my little fur baby next to me today, Sierra. She did not want to leave me, so we have her joining us. And she's going to hopefully practice our breathing with us as well. So if you're able to safely close your eyes, go ahead and do so. And this is our time to reconnect with ourselves. And breath is the beautiful gift that we have that can reconnect us with body, mind, spirit, soul, heart. It allows us to remember that there's so much more to us than checking things off of a list, than being concerned about only the external. It reminds us that we are all energy. One of my beautiful friends, Dr. Deborah, reminds us that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can, however, change form. And so we breathe right now so that we can enter into a place of calm, so we can slow everything down and be grounded in the truth of who we are and be uplifted with the hope and the peace, the light and the love that is also us, filling us, nourishing us. So we breathe. I want you to simply notice the inhale and the exhale as that breath enters and fills your body. And as that breath leaves, and we give the gift of breath back to the beautiful planet that soaks it all in through our plants and trees and grass that love the carbon dioxide that we release and that offer us the oxygen that allows us to be filled and nourished. On a deeper level, this energy connects us with the life in us and all of life, with our sacred divine presence within us. For some of you, that's God within you, Christ within you, the source within you, your connection with the universe. We know that there is more, and breath connects us to the more that lives within us. This is also our time to let go of any energy that is not serving us. Anything that we've absorbed, knowingly or even unknowingly, that no longer is fresh and supportive of us, let it go. That could mean the stale constructs that want to keep us small, that want us to be locked in fear and doubt, that want us to give more attention to lack and worry. We simply let it go the same way we exhale. We let it go. Releasing any tension, any tightness, any blocks that interrupt this beautiful flow of breath. This is our time to let go of that tightness, that tension, the restriction. And to make space for more ease, more flow, more light, and more love. I invite you to put your attention also on your heart center. Now, our heart center is such a beautiful place of, yes, our inner heart, our compassion, our grace, our love. It's also the place of vitality and where all healing begins. Our heart center is that meeting place of the energy that grounds us, stabilizes us, when we may not feel so stable, when we may feel as though life has interrupted and disrupted what we thought. The heart center is that place of reminding us to trust that we are supported. And it's also the meeting place of everything that uplifts us. Our voice, our inner knowing, yes, that hope. Whether it's a flicker or a brilliant bonfire of hope, the heart center is our place where we meet the energy of hope and expansion, imagination, and also the place where we are supported. As we go forward on this journey, one breath. One breath per moment, per each now moment. It is the breath that connects us. To the sacred place called presence. To the sacred awareness called presence. The sacred consciousness called presence. The sacred power called presence. breath reminds us it's all already within us. So we also use this time of breathing to give thanks for ourselves for being right here and right now. And we certainly always give thanks to the breath of life moving through us and keeping us connected to all of life. I invite you now to join me for 3 sets of our 5-5-5 breathing, and that's simply for 5 seconds. We're going to fill our bodies up like a balloon with air. And then for 5 seconds, we are going to hold that air in us like a balloon before we slowly release that air as though we're squeezing the air out of the balloon. So let's go ahead and start with 1 deep inhale now for 5. And now hold it. And slowly let it go. And then again, deep inhale now for 5. And now gently hold it. And slowly let it go. And then again, another deep inhale for 5. Hold that breath. And slowly push it and let it all out. Keeping your eyes closed if you're able to safely do so. We return to normal breathing, noticing if anything has changed or maybe slightly shifted. Maybe you're able to notice if your breath is a tad softer. Maybe you're able to notice if you've made space for ease in your breath. Finally, I want you to ask yourselves right now, with the attention back on that inner heart, knowing that this is the beautiful reservoir that connects us to God, Christ, universe, presence, source, love, that I want you to ask yourself right now, connecting to this deep, sacred place within you, what is it that you are to know in this moment? What is it that beautiful inner heart and inner soul wants you to know in this moment? Take another moment to receive that. And when you're ready, you can gently come back and open your eyes if you closed them. Wow. I always say the breath is so powerful, so delicious, so nourishing, and always our connection to the more that we are, more than this physical body, certainly more than the thoughts, more than the stories that we've been told, and maybe even the stories that we're telling ourselves right now. Breath is the reminder that everything that we powerfully care about, love, and know begins in the invisible. Each of us begins with what is invisible to our eyes before we take form. There's a place of the invisible before any creative experience. There's the imagination. There's that beautiful place of powerful potential, still unseen, and yet making its way to being fully seen. Breath is the reminder that, as one of my favorite mystical poets and teachers, Rumi, says, it's the reminder that you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. So maybe when we open our eyes, we see examples that try to tell us that you're just a tiny drop, that you don't matter, that life is too big, and that we're inconsequential. Breath, and especially when we close our eyes, we're reminded that the opposite is true. That we are powerful beyond any ability that we could try to contain or measure, quantify. That we are truly limitless. And the only limit that exists is the one that we give power and sanction to. And it lives up here. So this moves us into today's episode. What do you know now? There's so much that you know, and I'm here to remind you, to stir that up in you, that what you know now is that, yes, this life is a gift, that we didn't go out and purchase it, that we didn't buy it, that we don't own it, that it's a gift. And each of us experiences this gift in a way that is both unique and interconnected and thus universal. So your story is more than the story of your imagination. It is the story of all imagination alive in you. Now that is pretty powerful. And the key for each of us is being able to practice expanding the imagination so that it's no longer the one that's based on limitation. It's the imagination that exists, called all imagination within us. Now you know this. Your spirit knows this, that you are more powerful than any experience. Yes, we each have had experiences. Falling, being hurt, being betrayed, being lied to. And guess what? We've had experiences betraying and lying and forgetting who we are. By now we know that judgment is only a way to short circuit our own experience. That whatever we're judging someone else in is simply a confirmation of the thread of that same thing that lives in us. What we know by now is that when we focus on the truth, when you focus on who you really are, there's peace and joy. Because guess what? That is who you really are, peace and joy. What you know now is that maybe what you learned in school is not the whole picture. That what you read in a book is not the whole picture. That what someone else told you is not the whole picture. That what your own eyes can see, that what your hands can touch, that what your ears hear, it's not the whole picture. There's so much more. What you know now is that each breath is so fragile and tender, and that as tempting as it is to take it for granted, to push through and race ahead looking for the next moment, that the real gift is in settling, accepting, trusting, and even surrendering to this moment. What you may know now is that your own inner peace is only up to you. That yes, it's easy to blame someone else. It's easy to point at a circumstance. It's easy to complain. It's easy to blame. The truth is, you are the caretaker, the guardian, the cultivator of your own inner peace. What you know now is that every mistake was made not to humiliate you, nor embarrass you. It was made to teach you how to rise, how to grow, how to be humble, how to listen, how to keep going. What you know now is that there will be experiences that feel like they shatter and break your heart. And what you know now is that the shattering and the breaking is not for destruction. It's for an expansion. The same way that when a seed goes underground, when we plant it, the truth growth comes not when the seed remains contained as a seed, but when life breaks through. The same way that life breaks through a shattered heart, a broken heart is not destroyed. It's simply being stretched to move open in greater ways. What you know now is that the most important relationship is the one that you practice, that you treat gently, called the relationship with yourself. That the words that you speak about yourself to yourself are the seeds that will grow into the experiences that you experience. What you know now is that love is not a jacket or a sweater that we put on or take off, but it's the very essence of who you are. What you know now is that love is not a fairy tale. It's not the Lifetime romance, the Hallmark movie. That love is trust when we're scared, after we've been hurt. That love is forgiveness so that we can be free to move to a new space of perception instead of remaining stuck in a rut and in an old pattern. We know that love is the practice of saying yes to this journey and to ourselves, and thus to all of life around us. What we know now, what you know now, is that resistance and fighting is usually pretty futile. It leaves us depleted and angry and potentially bitter and resentful. And what you know now is that nothing can grow except more bitterness in a field that is bitter. That only resentment can grow in a field or garden called resentment. What you know now is that sometimes we have to rake up the old ground, to leave behind the old energy called disappointment, so that we can make space to put another breath in front of us and another breath in front of us so that we can go forward. What you know now is that your strength is in being vulnerable and honest, starting with vulnerable and honest with ourselves. That when you can tell the truth to yourself, you can tell the truth to anyone. What you know now is that rising in victory is not stepping on someone else. That true victory is remembering that we are all connected and that we are all one, even and especially when we disagree. What you know now is that you are here to elevate and uplift every space you enter. Quoting beloved Rumi again, saying that wherever you stand, be the soul of that place. You are the soul of every place you stand. What you know now is that there is nothing wasted in this universe, that everything is utilized. And when we look for it, we will find purpose everywhere. What you know now is you will not agree with everything that happens in your life. There will be quite a fair amount of experiences that you wish never showed up on your front doorstep. And you know now that when you trust, when you surrender, you make space to experience the miracles, the supernatural of this life. You know now that there is nothing ordinary about you, that you are extraordinary. The same molecules that fill the sky, that create the stars, The moon, the sun are the same molecules that are alive in you. That your name is brilliance and radiance. And your true power is in kindness and gentleness. You know now that all energy can spread. The same way someone can spread a cold, you can spread goodness and patience. Or you could spread that annoyance, the agitation, the frustration. You know now that only you are the architect of your choices. You know now that there are no have-tos, there are choices. And when you give yourself permission to fully choose with both courage and presence, you are more likely to experience the unfolding in ways that confound the small mind. You know now that 1 + 1 does not always equal 2. That when we gather together in relationship, we are able to experience what some would call the heavenly. We are able to experience true joy and connection called being known and being seen and being valued, and also seeing and knowing and valuing those around you. You know by now how precious a true friendship is. That while social media may say that you could have thousands of friends, millions of friends, that your true friends are often smaller in number than what your ego would have you believe. You know now that your ego often distorts, exaggerates, lies, and usually will have you going around the same experience over and over until you decide to put your ego in the back seat of the car that you're driving. You know now that when you give the keys to someone else, you can't complain about where you're going. That you must decide. And I'm correcting myself now, you get to decide. There's no have to. You get to decide where you want to go when you put the keys in your own hand and you drive your own car. With awareness and consciousness, even when you feel a little bit scared, you know now that your feelings are not the whole story. That they are the clouds in the sky. They are real. We feel them, and we remember that we are more than them. That you are the sky. You are designed to be in harmony with this life. You are created to be in harmony with this life, and you get to decide if that's your story or not. You know now that when we slow it down, when we get still and quiet, no matter how restless may we feel initially, that is the place, the space where we connect with sacred truth and knowing, where we are encouraged in a way that makes no sense in the natural. It makes no sense to our cognitive mind that wants to stay connected to only what it has already seen. That what is possible is usually, if not always, what has not yet been seen. What you know now is that when you listen and honor the deep truth within you, you lower the chance of regret, if not outright eliminate it. Because you know by now that regret is an energy that can only keep us stuck, and that instead, when you choose gratitude, you were able to admit, yes, when we fall, yes, when it hurts, and yes, you are still growing and going and learning and expanding and being. You know now that the best part of life is the ING, that it's not over, that even when someone is no longer in this realm, love continues, that there is no such thing as the end. Love is eternal. You know now that the deposits in you are not only for you, but they're unfolding with you so that you can be fully who you've been created to be before you were ever in your mother's womb. That a destiny and a purpose is right there within you. When, as you say yes to it. You know now that true peace is usually synonymous with surrender and acceptance. And you know now that sometimes your acceptance comes with reluctance. It comes with difficulty. And you know that the more you practice accepting what is, your inner peace has more space to expand and grow and open up doors called joy and laughter. And you know now that you were never alone. That even when you're sitting in a room and you don't see anyone else around, you are still never alone, because your name is oneness with all. And that when you slow it down and breathe, you will be reminded and connected to the all called you. Remember, you are not the drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. What you know now is that what you know is so tiny compared to what we don't know, and what you still get to experience. And that curiosity combined with compassion and courage will allow you to see more than you thought was possible. What you know now is that you have control over only your choice and no one else and nothing else. What you know now is that as you choose to be a co-creator, as you choose to activate imagination with beautiful self-talk, that you are able to experience the more, maybe not the more as your mind thought it would be, but the more that's available. What you know now is that when we learn to be comfortable with the parts of life that are uncomfortable, we find flow and harmony. And we learn that that is your name, flow and harmony. When you know how to say no and how to say yes based on truth and consciousness, you flow in a freedom and an ease. You know now that there is no such thing as easy and meaningful, that there is ease and beauty and purpose. And the most beautiful things in this life are the ones that surprise us. And the things that hurt us also are the surprises when we stopped listening to the truth of trusting in the unknown. When we thought that we understood it all, we're more likely to fall. We know that when the people we love transition to the next realm, it's a reminder for us to be truly grateful for the time we had in this realm with them, and for us to remember that none of us remains in this form, in this realm. You know that again, it's only the love that continues. You know now that true healing is a saying yes to the discomfort, a yes to trusting that there's more, yes to the vulnerability of realizing that each moment is both powerful and fragile at the same time. What you know now is that each of us, that you are indeed a beautiful, phenomenal masterpiece, and you are still practicing. We are all practicing. I invite you to make space to remember that all of this that you know is a drop compared to the unknown that is waiting for us to discover, to experience, and to be. So I invite you to make space to honor the life, the being that is uniquely and wonderfully called you. Thank you so much for your time and space today. Thank you for being, beautiful soul. Thank you, beautiful soul, for remembering who we are and for making time and space to be with us today. As you go forward on your journey to the known and unknown places, continue to listen to your inner heart and honor your soul, because your answers are always within you. Please consider supporting us and spreading more light and love with this message by simply liking the video below, subscribing, and consider sharing as well. Most of all, take gentle care and breathe. We see you. We thank you, beautiful soul.